Welcome back to IGN Live from Gamescom 2018. I'm Damon Hatfield. It's time to check in with LEGO DC Supervillains. Phil Ring is here to get us up to speed. Phil, welcome to the IGN stage.
No, thank you very much.
I love the idea for this game. You know, we've all played LEGO games before. We know what to expect, but this time the bad guys are in charge.
Yeah, very much so. We've kind of been into the DC universe before, and every time you sit there going, the bad guys really are cool.
Yeah.
So we just had to think, you know what, let's do it. Let's do a story with the bad guys. Let's play that side of it for a change and see how that plays out from a LEGO game.
Which I imagine is pretty fun.
Oh yeah, it's excellent fun. The bad guys have all the, like we always say this, but they have the best lines. So we wanted to kind of do that in the game, and then also we've given them some really cool abilities as well. So the bad guys get to do things that are just that kind of that wacky, that quirky, that the kind of heroes wouldn't get away with, but the villains we get to do. So we're kind of filling the game with as much of that as possible. And
so here are we seeing Gorilla City?
Yes, yeah, so we're in Gorilla City at the moment. So this is a few levels in. We're currently on a recruitment drive to pick up some more bad guys. So we're looking for Gorilla Grodd. So we've just arrived. Lex plays a line about he doesn't want to spook the wildlife as they arrive. So we've got to make our way through the city, but we may be a bit of unwanted guests at the moment.
All right, we'll keep an eye out for them. Well, what's the setup here? What's the story? Why are the villains taking the spotlight?
So we wanted to do something villain-based because of the gameplay-wise, and thought it'd be really good fun. So the story was actually written in collaboration with DC, and the idea is the villains are kind of running amok at the moment, and then the Justice League, they're kind of the conflict that you're always seeing, actually get pulled away and they disappear, and they're replaced by these people who are calling themselves the Justice Syndicate. They're actually the crime syndicate from 3. They've been brought in. They're not nice. They're bad guys as well. So what's happening is we've got all the other villains that we get to play as, and then these other bad guys are turning up, making them look bad. So we're kind of like having this kind of conflict where we've got all these kind of villains running around trying to do villainous things. So they're basically out villaining themselves. So we're kind of recruiting to make our team stronger at this moment in time. So we're off to go get Grodd, and because he's going to help us out.
So there'll be a bunch of recognizable DC villains, but who are we? We're an original character, is that right?
Yeah, very much so. So one of the kind of things about the game when we were looking at doing villains was, it'd be cool if we get to play around in this world too. So very beginning of the game, you get to use a character customizer, create whoever you want to be, and it's one of the most in-depth customizers we've ever done. There's a huge amount of variation in it. You can change the way your character looks, individual arm colors, decals, hair pieces. You can make them look like they're running around in a car. There's some ridiculous things in there. You get to customize your weapons. So I want to attack people with 2 whisks, or a plunger, or a sword, or a blaster. And then on top of that, you also get to customize your abilities. So it really is about making your villain and putting them into the game.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about, like, how do you determine what your powers are? Or you have like a set menu that people can choose from?
Yeah, so we have some powers, things like if you want to be a speedster, so you want to kind of give a Flash a run for his money, you get to assign that as a power. Or if you want to give your character flight, your villain that you create, you're critical to the story, so you actually get stronger as the story progresses. You unlock more and more powers that you can then customize. So at the very beginning of the story, the rest of the villains basically think you're a kind of throwaway bad guy, like you're just basically a henchman. And then it becomes apparent as you become more and more powerful, you're way more important than that.
I see. So are we seeing our character? Do you know who the character is that we've created in this instance?
So in this level, what we're actually showing, the custom character is actually off doing something different at this moment in time. So we're following Heatwave, Captain Cold, Reverse Flash, Cheetah, and Lex. And so we're making our way through Gorilla City. One of the great things about this is that this is the story level, and you get to always return in free play. So we don't have our custom character here, but what we can show you is we've got some brand new characters that we're revealing for Gamescom.
Very cool.
So we'll bring up the character grid. We've got some really quite famous ones. People like Calendar Man. He's got one of my favourite abilities as well. So he being very date-based, he can put out a birthday cake, and it actually plays Happy Birthday. And if you're around other people, they start dancing and singing along.
Nice.
So some other characters that we've got, we do actually have some heroes in there as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
So we've got a few bits and pieces dropped around. Do you know your Green Lanterns?
No.
So
I'm not going to get very far there.
We have the Space Squirrel badge.
Very cool.
So you get to be a Green Lantern squirrel. And it's one of these things that we get to add things like that in the game that we're kind of really excited about.
For sure.
And then he's got some cool abilities as well. He can actually cause acorn construct that you can then ride around. So we wanted to do some bits and pieces. So there are some heroes in this game, but this really is a villain-focused roster.
Sure.
We've got Granny Goodness.
Okay.
She's a character. She actually like plays part of the story as well, so she's got quite a critical role in the story. So she comes along. You can throw sweets from her handbag. She has a gramophone that she can play, and she also has a rocket power Zimmer frame. So
Wow.
she can you can explore, and you can use that to explore the open world as well. So you're kind of going to bomb around the streets of Gotham and Metropolis on a rocket power Zimmer frame.
Nice.
I don't think there's many games that get to do that.
That's true.
The team did an amazing job of being able to include that. So. We also have people like Ventriloquist as well, so people who are big Batman fans. And like I say, the team just doing an amazing job of bringing the characters to life. So we have him running around. He's got some brilliant little animations. So if you're kind of doing a sneak animation, you're riding on the back of the dummy. And he's also got some quirky things as well. The team added this, and I remember speaking with the design, and I had no really idea that it was going to go in, and this kind of toy piano turns up, and you can sit there playing it along. So we really did want it kind of full of things to do. So every single character that you unlock, every character that you encounter, you're going to want to find out what they can do. Another one that we're revealing here at Gamescom is actually a King Shark.
Cool.
So he's a really cool character, and like probably one of the most imposing characters you can have on the screen at the time. So he's really cool to run around with. But he also, if you hold circle, he does the hula dance.
Nice.
So we get to have a lot of fun with this world. So being able to kind of use the kind of classic characters that people know, introduce some people to some ones they may not, because like I say, the teams are massive fans of the DC universe, and then actually getting to put yourself in this story really was what this was all about. It was about making yourself part of this DC universe and getting to run around as a villain.
Well, I think I see Wonder Woman is in here as well.
So we have some of the Justice League variants. So where we have the Justice League characters, we have Wonder Woman, and then early on in the story they disappear. So yeah, you will see the odd kind of hero character along the way.
I see. Yeah, so we're running around Gorilla City. Are there other recognizable, famous locations that we'll visit?
Yeah, very much so. It's really is kind of like a putting everything together. So I mentioned like being able to explore Metropolis, Gotham, Smallville, Amusement Mile. That all kind of makes up the open world. We have Gorilla City. There's a whole host of other DC locations we get to go to. Oa makes an appearance, and then we also get to, we just kind of reading a new trailer here for Gamescom as well, and you may see in the trailer there's a bit Apocalypse. So Apocalypse turns up. That's actually part of the story. So Darkseid and Apocalypse is a very important thing that happens within the kind of, as you're playing this game through. So that's another area that you get to explore.
So how open is the game?
It's huge. We really wanted it to be something that you're going to keep on coming back to explore. And also the way the open world is laid out, it's not about having just masses of space with nothing to do. We wanted it so that if you go to a location, there's loads of collectibles, there's loads of quests. So you might get a quest where someone's sending you off to go collect various people, or you're scouting out to try and find someone. So while you're exploring, you'll constantly find things to interact with. We also have kind of interiors that you can go into. So some of the buildings you can open up, you can jump in the elevator, you'll go to the top floor of that building, and there might be something there for you to find some people to interact with.
But it's a situation where right from the start you can go anywhere you want, visit any of these worlds, or do you sort of unlock them as you go?
So some, like Apocalypse in particular, turns up because of the story, so that might not be there available right at the very beginning. But as you're playing through, once you finish the very first level, the next thing you do is you're building a kind of big Joker truck, and you're off on a recruitment drive. So Joker and Harley Quinn are then driving around the streets of Gotham, and you get to do that like right off the bat, so you can go off and explore. The way that the kind of system works, we want it so that you can always find out where you need to go. So there's a kind of a stud path that will path you to your next story objective. But if you want to go off and explore, you can do that. So you can just go off and hunt out and see what you can find.
Yeah, so we were having some trouble getting up the stairway because of the rolling boulders, but looks like a speedster was who we needed. Who we needed to get past that.
Reverse flash is perfect for this. One of the cool things as well is that you can see now we're doing some kind of takedown moves and some combat moves. What you can do is you can go up to an enemy. If you tap circle, you'll grab them, and then you actually have 3 different grab moves you can do. So you can kind of choose how you want to use your characters and choose how you fight in this world. So even if you've got like your custom character and you decide that you're going to give your custom character plungers, their grab move will be different than if I'd decided to give him like a gun or something, like a blaster or a heat ray or something like that.
I see.
So the characters and their abilities do change, and that is true for your custom character too.
I see. Very cool. Seems like we have a lot of characters on screen at a time that you're jumping back and forth between.
Yep. Yeah, so with the kind of the LEGO games, we always want a big kind of party of people that you can kind of come along this adventure with. So we have some sections which are you kind of have a smaller character roster. So there are bits when you have like someone like Joker and Harley might be off doing a side mission because they want to go rob some bits and pieces. So that's what they're doing. So that would just be kind of 2 characters at that point. But then other points we can have the party go up to 5 people. We also, one of the things is brand new for this as well is goons are things that villains have, but heroes don't. So a hero doesn't really call on the assistance of other people, whereas a goon will. So if I'm Joker, you may see other Joker goons in the area, and you can walk up to them and wave at them and be like, right, I need your help. And they'll then follow you along. So you can kind of recruit 4 goons with you. They'll help fight alongside you, and then you can use them to kind of figure out a puzzle. So that's another thing that we've added for this title, because it feels very kind of fitting for a villain to kind of disposable goons, if you like, and come along. So
yeah, they're not worried about using people for to further their cause.
Exactly.
Johnny DC is sort of included in this game as sort of a clever like hint system. Is that right?
Yeah. So we really wanted to make sure that this is a kind of as accessible title that we've never kind of done to this level before. So Johnny DC is actually our hint character, if you will. So as you're playing through, if there's a kind of, you come across something that you're not sure how to interact with, maybe it's the first time you've played a Lego game and you don't know that silver Lego needs to be blown up, you can actually call on Johnny DC and he'll help you out. He'll show you a video and show you how to interact with that world. We also have it so that there's actually 2 modes at the very beginning of the game. There's actually a rookie and a master mode. So if you're a rookie villain, you've never played a Lego game before, it kind of triggers the hints a bit kind of quicker for you. It makes it a bit easier as you're progressing. If you're a bit of a master at Lego games, you select master modes, you then kind of the hints won't trigger as frequently. And also you have slightly more customization options at the very beginning. Even if you put rookie mode though, the next time you come back to the customizer, everything's available to you.
Interesting. This is a cool sequence we're seeing here with the reverse flash.
Yeah, so we're trying to kind of hunt down some Lego bricks. So the Speed Force is being used right now, and once you've collected all the bricks that you need, we're going to return back, and something is going to happen. So we're building a new item. We need to get through this door, so a giant banana was required apparently, and we get to use this. You swing on it and you get to smash through. So we wanted some new styles of gameplay as well, some just kind of things that kind of change up, so that you maybe won't have expected that if you jumped on this treadmill that was going to happen.
Very cool. Well, LEGO DC Supervillains looks like a whole lot of fun. We're going to get to jump into it on October 16th. Is that right?
Yeah.
On all platforms, including the Switch as well?
So we love all the consoles out there. And what's great about Nintendo Switch is you actually have single Joy-Con support. So
that's great.
Just take it off, give it to your friend, and you can start playing co-op.
So cool. Phil, thank you so much for coming by the iGen stage.
Great. Thanks very much.
Stay tuned. More to come from iGen Live at Gamescom 2018 after this.